What's going on, everybody? This is Justin Wolf from Wolf Customs. So a friend of mine named Jonathan, the Bearded Burton on YouTube, has tagged me to share with you guys what I carry on me every day, what my EDC is. And this is a video I've done a while back, but you know what? Who cares? Sometimes things change. For me, nothing has really changed except for I've added a new item, which I will show you. So let's dig in the pockets first. Or actually not digging them because I've already got it all pulled out. But in my pockets, it's very simple. I don't get very creative with my EDC. I really don't. I mean, you're looking at a pair of keys and a key fob and a lighter. That's really about all that I carry in my pockets. Other than that, I carry this T10 through night flashlight clipped to my pocket, which I started carrying this, it's coming up on a year now, and I tell you what, I've really grown fond of carrying a small flashlight. Prior to carrying this, I never carried a small flashlight in my pocket. I only relied on this little thing here, which is just a little LED keychain that my friend Steve Justice gave me about 5 years ago, and that's been on my keychain ever since. But since I received this T10, I very seldom use this, but of course I'm still just going to leave it there because, you know, obviously this is going to exhaust batteries. So that is literally all that's in my front pockets. As far as my back pocket goes, I mean, just a simple wallet. Now, in my past EDC, I showed that I had a Fresnel lens inside this thing. And unfortunately, since then, that thing has decided to crumble up and die because it's been in there for a very long time. And, you know, periodically, you're just going to have to change those things out. I mean, over time, they kind of get scratched up. Even if they have a cover on them, they get kind of scratched up. They might get brittle, eventually break down, wither away. So I need to replace that. I just haven't done that yet. So moving on to what do I carry on my belt. Well, first and foremost, this is a belt that, you know, I make. This is the everyday belt, very thick, very durable. I've used this obviously every single day since I made it, and it's still going strong. So on that belt, as far as my main blade, I carry this here. This is a knife that I made and a sheath that I made. This here is called the Razorback, and this is a knife that I designed for an EDC, and I got to tell you, ever since I've made this, this has really just, I've fallen in love with this thing, and I'm not being biased just because I made it. I designed this for my personal wants and needs. It's definitely not going to suit everybody. But it suits me quite well. And, you know, number one, I'm not trying to sell this thing because my knives have actually been put on hold on my website until I can get some better equipment and make sure that I make them the best that I can possibly make them. So that is my knife. And of course, the sheath, which I've used and abused. Both of these things, I mean, oh God, I've done everything so far with this knife. I mean, you guys have seen this knife probably in countless videos now. I've split wood, I've processed food, I've skinned out a deer with this thing now. I've done all kinds of good stuff with it, and it's still going strong and still absolutely wicked sharp. So other than that, I carry this here. This is a Leatherman Super Tool 300. I've had this for 4 or 5 years now, and just beat the dog soup out of it, and it's still, you know, going strong as well. This is definitely a truly great super tool if you don't mind a full size, or excuse me, a really great multi-tool if you don't mind a full size one. This is going to be a little bit big and bulky for a lot of people, but for me, you know, it's not that big of a deal. Obviously, I work at home, and do everything at home now, but even when I was working full-time, you know, for somebody else, I carried this every single day because, you know, I built CNC plasma machines and oxyfuels and water jets for a living. So when it came to carrying, you know, a multi-tool and a fixed blade knife, you know, the company that I worked for, they could care less. And the other reason I can get away with carrying this is because in my state I can carry any kind of knife that I want, as long as it's exposed. If it's under, if it's under 3-inch blade, then I can carry it concealed. Like this one here, the cutting edge is right at 3 inches, so I can carry this concealed. But if I was to carry anything bigger, then it has to be exposed. So those things have really served me well. Now, other than the Leatherman and the pouch on the side here, you know, I've got a ferro rod, and underneath here in this pouch I've actually got a nice hank of paracord. That paracord has been in there for a very long time, and prior to putting that hank in there, I've actually had to pull that out and use it on numerous occasions. So having that little bit of cordage actually has come in handy for me, you know, certain times doing various things. But all reality, this is pretty much all that I've ever carried, or not that I've ever carried, but this is what I've carried religiously for several years now, minus the flashlight, and it's served me quite well. Now, a new thing that I've been carrying here for about a week now is something that I've made, and you know, it's just going through a testing phase, and that's this here. It's just a little neck option, and as you can see, it's got a ferro rod on the side. Not necessary. I've got one on my Leatherman, but you know what they say: 2 is 1, 1 is none. But is what this is it's a little arrow point, and this is something that I made, and like I said, I'm testing it out right now. You guys will see it in the future, but it has become not necessarily a necessity, but it's pretty cool, and I've really enjoyed it so far. And you can do a lot of things with this thing. I've lashed it, you know, to atlatl darts. I've put it on a small handle and actually used it as a knife. I've used it to drill through wood, you know, with a spindle type thing, and I mean, you can do all kinds of things with it. It actually, this side here is squared off, so you can actually use it in conjunction with your ferro rod, or you can take a piece of flint and hit on it and throw sparks. And then of course you've got your cutting tool on the other side if need be. So it's a little multifunctional piece of equipment. But like I said, is it a necessity for us to have? No, not really. But it's definitely something that's kind of cool, and I'm enjoying it. And you know what? If you think it's cool, you want it, by God, carry it, wear it, and that applies to everything. Don't ever let anybody tell you what you should and should not carry as an EDC, because ultimately it's up to you. And if you carry it, that's what's important, or if you like it, that's what's important. So anyway, that is my EDC, guys. Jonathan, I appreciate you tagging me. And as far as me tagging anybody, I'm not going to tag anybody in, you know, particular, because I don't want anybody to ever feel like it's a popularity contest. Basically, is what I want is anybody that wants to show up their EDC, throw it up there. It doesn't matter if I tag you or if I don't tag you. If you want to share it with everybody, then share it, because who knows, you may have something that I didn't think of, or something that somebody else didn't think of, and they may really want to start carrying that item. So I encourage everybody to do it. So anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video on my EDC, and as always, have a good one.